Hey guys, Speedoz here, and today I bring you a new video about a CoC Ice Nova Inquisitor. If you don't know anything about custom crit builds, I highly suggest you to go over a Reddit article where the guy explains exactly how the server limitations work along with the custom crit calculations. After that, you will basically understand the principle of the breakpoints, and that's the main issue many people have with this build. If you have a headhunter and you want to play this build, don't you worry. You can basically use and ignore everything else that's on the Reddit article, because the headhunter buffs will basically improve your attack speed by a lot and make you very powerful. So you will not have any problems. But if you want to build a very consistent character, after understanding the CoC thing, you can watch this guide. So to play CoC Ice Nova Inquisitor is basically very similar to the Assassin. The only main difference is that with these new ascendancy points, we can stack strength and int and gain benefits from it. Righteous Providence provide us 1% increased critical strike chance per point of strength or int, whichever is lower, and this is why we're going to stack this as much as possible. You can see that we have plenty of intelligence, which also helps us build plenty of energy shield on the build. And our strength with over 400 will basically increase our critical strike chance by a lot, making it very easier to cap our crit chance compared to Assassin, in my opinion. This is why you can make a CoC Inquisitor with lower investment if you compare it to the Assassin investment itself. All right, so how to play this build? It is very simple. You can walk and you'll be casting the Vortex all the time, which will apply chill to the enemies and also cooling strike them. And when you face a monster, you can basically use your Cyclone, which is an attack that will crit, and by critting it will cast the spell that is socked to Cyclone, which is Ice Nova. So this is how it works. Whenever you find a boss, you can just pop all your flasks, pop your Val RF, which is different from the Righteous Fire. So always make sure to have your Val RF up, and then you'll do tons of damage or even freeze the enemy. Okay. The guide here on the PoB that is on the video's description, you can see that I try to build it very cheap. We have a 14x investment in 1 month into the league, so I'm very happy with the result. We have a tree at the bottom left, a tree progression that you can see. One thing that I would like to point out is this note here, code to the car, 1% increased cold damage per 25 dex, int and strength. Very useful for these large clusters and for this build, since we're stacking plenty of stats. This build here, you will notice that the breakpoint, it is not as we expected because of the budget version, but I hadn't had any problems with the Sirus Conquerors or anything else because the damage pays off anyway by playing this build. In the next guide, in this guide and the next version that I will show you with higher investment, we kept the critical strike chance, the breakpoints, and also we went for the 52% breakpoint. So it is better in my opinion, but you will have also invest higher currency as well. You have plenty of information, useful things here regarding Pantheon, Bennett, Ascendancy Order, the choices for your gear, also the leveling gear with some leveling gems as well. The gems here, all of them are listed. Tempest Shield helps us build more block for this build. Also Zealotry with Val Discipline and Heart of Ice instead of Hatred. On the video clips, you saw me without Heart of Ice and without Hatred. I was trying to use the Hatred and trying to find a way to reserve my mana and use Hatred along with these two auras, but I couldn't. So on the PoB, you're actually seeing a better version in comparison to the clip. So make sure to use the Heart of Ice, and if you use an Enlighten, you'll have more unreserved mana for this build. Regarding the items, you'll see they are very simple. you can see that we are using Cospress, obviously. The shield basically has block spell damage and energy shield. Hubris, it is the only item with accuracy rating and with some energy shield and resist. Vol Regalia, you don't need the recovery or energy shield, and you don't need regen energy shield per second. All you need is energy shield on this chest. I used one single dense fossil and was very lucky to hit these modifiers, but all I have to do is to have energy shield on it. You can craft it fossils, you can craft it with reforged defenses on harvest, so don't you worry about that. The gloves, Shaper's Touch, very useful because we're stacking stats, so very nice. Saucer boots, any energy shield boots for the gear with some resist as well. Astrament is very useful as well. I allocated utmost might because it gives us plenty of strength, which also helps with the crit chance. The rings as well. One ring has dex, another ring has strength, but make sure to do what's best for you. All the other modifiers are basically energy shield and resists. The bell is the only item that I use to go to the first breakpoint with the increased cooldown recovery rate. Could be on the boots, could be on the Awakened Custom Crit, but Awakened Custom Crit will obviously increase your build cost by a lot. So if you want to go for a budget version, make sure to go for a belt because this modifier is cheaper on belts. The flasks, plenty of cheap options here. If you use a Bottle of Faith, it will increase your crit chance almost to 100%, but obviously will cost more. On this league, it is very cheap, but I think it's 6 exalts. But on other leagues it was costing, I don't know, 10 to 15 exalts. So just have that in mind if you want to improve your crit chance by a lot. The Bottle of Faith is always there to help you out. And the cluster jewels, like I told you. Also, another good thing here is the Cobalt jewels that I chose. They basically have maximum ES, one modifier regarding critical strike multiplier for spells, for code skills, or just global critical multiplier, and also another roll with some spell damage. Could be spell damage, could be spell damage while holding a shield, anything that you can actually buy for a low amount of currency. Okay, 2 frozen trails to help us have plenty of projectiles because they will scale with our Watcher's Eye. I bought this for 4 exalts. In my opinion, they should be costing even more because this Watcher's Eye basically is a game changer for any energy shield CoC Ice Nova. Could be CI, which is our case, could be low life. We're gaining a 20 to 30 energy shield for each enemy hit while affected by discipline, which is a lot because we're attacking with our Cyclone, we are casting Ice Nova with the Cyclone, we're casting Ice Nova with the Cosprey, and we're also casting Frostbolts, plenty of projectiles every time we're critting. So you can imagine how many things are actually hitting the enemies, and there are plenty of enemies in the screen. So on the video clips and even on your gameplay, you will see that this basically changes our survivability to a level that is just stupid. So you will see, make sure to have this Watcher's Eye if you're going to play this build, either CI or low life. You will see how good it is. Okay, so all the good information is on the PoB. The second PoB that I want to show you is the next one. If you have more currency and want to keep investing into the build, I'm playing with 90x at the moment, and you'll see that we don't have any problems with the crit chains or the hit chance as well. Our attack rate is almost at the maximum on the last breakpoint of the build, which is 52% plus increased cooldown recovery rate. The notes are basically the same from the previous PoB that I just showed you. The CoC Ice Nova setup, the Ice Nova from the Cospress as well. All the gems here you have at your look, and also the gear. I changed a little bit. any investment you basically do to this build is going to increase your budget by a lot. So a Hubris with Hatred Reduced Mana Reservation cost me 2 exalts. I crafted Accuracy and some Energy Shield as well with some resists. The chest we have a Awakener Orb with Maven's Orb on the Explosion modifier. So very good for the clear speed and to cap our crit chance as well. Shaper's Touch didn't change. Our boots here, I was very lucky to augment element modifier and get the avoid elemental ailments, but all you need here is cooldown recovery rate with movement speed, some resist as well. Also, I was very lucky to hit on the Overlap enchant, the chance to avoid being stunned, which is actually worse than the 10% chance to penetrate the boss elemental resists. And you can get the chance to avoid stun on the cluster geos and regular geos by assessing harvest crafts. So very good there. Astra Mantis, I allocated the Tranquility because of the amount of intelligence that we have on the build. It's gonna build up our damage even further. Our rings, you can get one with Strength, Intelligence, Assassin's Mark on hit, and then just keep reforging, keeping suffixes until you hit some good modifiers there, or you can just aug and remove with the harvest stuff. The ring here, I believe this one is basically the same on the previous build, and a Crystal Bell, which I did with the Awakener Orb, with the increased cooldown recovery rate, with the maximum energy shield, clean prefixes, suffixes, auged caster for the increased spell damage during flask effect. So very easy, but requires a bit of currency to get that one. The flasks almost the same. This one got Bottle of Faith and Cinder Swallow to help with this survivability, which you basically already has plenty because of the Watcher's Eye, but this one just helps up a little bit with the increased critical strike chance. The Kicksilver same as well. The only thing that I changed here was the Cobalt Jewels because they give me 2 modifiers regarding multiplier properties and another one with the increased maximum energy shield. As you can see, at level 100 I just went for 2 jewels with plenty of attack speed in order to get very close to the last attack speed allowed because of the 52% increased cooldown recovery breakpoint. And the Watcher's Eye was a little bit of upgrade because it will allow us to gain frenzy charge when you deal a critical strike while affected by precision, and this is a very nice quality of life when you're fighting bosses, because if you don't kill them instantly, which will basically happen most of the time, you'll keep gaining flask charges all the time against Sirus, against Conquerors, or any other boss, even Maven. So it is very comfortable to play. Okay, so yeah, that's plenty of information there for you to look up. And basically, in comparison to Assassin, I believe Inquisitor is better for going hybrid or just going for a lower budget version, like I told you guys. 14x with a CI CoC Ice Nova with a AES higher than 7k is a lot nice in my opinion, because I would definitely spend more with the Assassin trying to cap the increased critical strike chance or increased attack speed because of the breakpoints. So definitely a very nice option and an alternative in order to play the same build with different ascendancies. Okay, if I have enough currency, I would definitely go for the Assassin version, because as you probably have seen in other guides or have played the CoC Ice Nova before, you will definitely have more damage with Assassin ascendancy or that power charge scaling thing, where you can have plenty of power charges as well all the time. So very easy to scale damage if you go in that direction. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.
What's this? A real challenge?
You finally caught my attention. Die.
meaningless. E estamos a apenas 15 horas. Imagina quando estiver batendo 22, 23. Boa noite, sejam bem-vindos de todos. Todos de volta. Tem como ter essa build antes de você lançar o vídeo? É, você pode ir comprando se quiser os itens.
They became reliant on them. I am not so foolish. Quero café!
Quer um cafezinho? Olha como o Sirão fica lento, mano. Se tiver o Watcher Exile de Game Flask Charge when you deal the Critical Strike, fica melhor ainda. Porque eu consigo ficar usando os Flask, né, que eu tô evitando de usar. Why fun? What's the point? Tá rolando um cafezinho? Com certeza, mano. Ciclo não tancar mais de Gladiator e Slayer. Ah, Ciclo vai tancar de Gladiator, né? Por ser block. Eu fiz de Inquisitor porque é mais fácil. Aparentemente de acertar o Crit Chance, bonitão. Mais fácil de fazer a build. Mais barato. Fica muito lento, mano. Ô louco, ia se dar aí, danado. Olha quem tá aí. Back CD com um gank de 56 milhões de pessoas, sejam bem-vindos. Estamos matando o Sirão aqui no guia do CoC Ice Nova de 14x. Chegaram na hora certa, na verdade. Tô evitando de usar os flasks aqui. Como eu tava falando pro pessoal mais cedo, Essa build aqui fica melhor quando você tem a Exile com a linha de Flask Charge e o Delirium Critical Strike, daí você fica recarregando, né? Flask. Ele fica muito lento com essa build.